Remember the red wedding from Game of Thrones? How much that felt like a huge gut punch. And then remember the beatdown that Mark got all the way back in season 1 by Daddy Dearest? And remember how gory The Boys is? Well, take all three of those shows, the gut punch emotionally and physically. The fake feeling of Mark is strong now. He might just be okay fighting a Viltrumite. And the false sense of security of actually liking some of the characters. Big mistake. Let's get into the final episode of Season 3, Episode 8. Now, Prime has given me some provisos. No telling you the title of the episode, no reading the description, and no spoilers until the episode has aired. So it's just going to be a straight up review, short and sweet. The last episode isn't some especially long episode with in-depth character analysis. No, the whole season has been leading to this moment, to episode 8. At the end of episode 7, we saw who arrived to say hello, and this whole episode is about that. I think this is the goriest episode to date. It's certainly the one I felt the most distress in, because as I mentioned earlier, I've come to care for Mark and his brother, Eve, his mom, even Cecil to some extent. So the consequences are dire here. Everyone's still reeling from the devastation of Mark's clones. They haven't even had time for a breather, and now the shit really hits the fan, for real like. I've got to give the voice actors props here. From the visceral screams that you get in this episode to real guttural crying, you know, the sort that comes from devastation, to a villain that carries the same gravitas of fear that I remember feeling in The Walking Dead. That episode with the baseball bat, you know the one I mean. The actor Steven Yeun, who gets his brain bashed in, who is now Mark, having his brain similarly bashed in by an evil villain. Yeah, that is a tenuous link that I didn't expect to have here. But there is 31 minutes of torture, gore, and pain, and dark side, and it does not let up. Of course, we get the obligatory wrapping up of the season, but the episode's pacing is brutal, which matches the episode. The score matches the tone as well perfectly. It plays with us emotionally, getting that heroic Invincible theme coming in now and again, giving us a false sense of security. It's a roller coaster of emotional scoring, and the soundtrack beats you into a messy pulp with the perfect song to put you in a melancholic stupor and rock yourself to sleep crying. It has to be said, this is a wonderful episode. From the action that will leave jaws hanging on the floor, the animation which shows us in great detail every punch, every bit of spit, every visceral moment Mark and his family go through in this episode. Slow punches to the face, watching teeth fall out, bodies being dismembered, blood spit bubble, to tears. The animators went hard in this episode. I think it'll be one that fans and new fans alike will be talking about for a long while. And don't forget to stay for the mid-credit scene either, because this is setting up for story in season 4. I should say that this is a Mark and Friends on Earth episode. We don't get any further plot or story with Daddy X Viltrumite Dearest. There is a brief moment to do with a side story that is yet to be fully realized, but 98% of this episode is all about Mark and breaking everything in his life and his body. All in all, this is a spectacular finish to Season 3, Episode 8. It's everything I wanted and more. This show goes from strength to strength. I give this episode in particular 5 out of 5 Nicolas Cages. Well, have you enjoyed the ride? When you see it, what did you think? Be mindful of spoilers in the comments for others so that they can enjoy the episode without being spoiled as well.
You got one.
But most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.